Good evening, folks. Wally here. Today we're going to be watching episode number 9 of JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen. Last time we left off, we met Toto and Mai. Toto, I instantly fell in love with as a character. He's an idol nerd like me. It's wonderful. He rocked Megumi's socks off, but the Megumi seemed to have something up his sleeve, so who knows what that's about. Like, he keeps teasing that he has some really busted thing under his power, but he never really uses it. So it's really curious what he has. And we met Mai. Mai was Maki's sister, and we had a really nice look into Mai and Maki as characters and how they operate and what Maki's goals are, to prove everyone wrong and stick it to him pretty much in becoming a Jujutsu sorcerer despite having no cursed energy. And my was more is more of like a teasing femme fatale tsundere type almost. Like, she tries to be really hard, but she also went to the idol thing and she really liked us as well. So I'm going to really like them. So far, my favorite side character cast member is Toto, but from our JJK tech school side, I would say it's Maki. I really like Maki. And yeah, we had Yuji continue his training with the emotional balancing and all, and we had Mahito kill someone in a cinema, and that's where we kind of left off. Is that's where the story ended, and now Yuji and the guy, the hair pulley guy, Nanami, I think it's his name. I know the name. I think him and the hair pulley guy are now investigating that. So let's see what this is about. I was not expecting Mahito to be this active this early, so who knows where this is going. Let's see. Okay, it's time for episode number 9. Let's jump right into it. Who are you? Oh, this is a villain backstory in the making. Oh, he just said it. Are they all just dead? Right in front of this kid? And he's just a witness? Bro turned them into Mega Mind, but fucked up Mega Mind. Yeah, that's it. He's into it. He wants to be him. Okay, let's talk about this a bit in the opening. This is obviously this is like quite an already done to death storyline. Is the kid that gets like really harshly bullied, and it really gets you to sympathize with them quickly. Is like, wow, these kids are like assholes. But even then, I think what the story is more of trying to say is even such assholes didn't deserve what Mahito did to them. And it's kind of like tricking us as the audience into kind of giving our tacit approval to Mahito's actions, and that it was okay for him to somehow kill them. It was justified because this main character, whose perspective is what we're getting, was harassed by these guys. So that somehow now makes it okay for Mahito to be judge, jury, and executioner to them. And it's subtly trying to kind of enforce that to us. Is that like kind of making us think that maybe Mahito's not all that bad. Like those guys totally deserve that, right? They didn't deserve that. That was way over the line. That was immensely over the line. I think Yuji and everyone else would agree as well. So there, he's there. That kid is there. He's literally right there. So then is this kid gonna be like, oh, an ex-salaryman?
他の方もあなたには言われたくないでしょう。勝てないと判断したら呼んでください。ちょっと舐めすぎじゃない、俺のこと。舐める舐めないの話ではありません。私は大人で君は子供。私には君を自分より優先する義務があります。ガキ扱いなら舐められた方が良かったよ。君はいくつか視線を超えてきた。でもそれで大人になったわけじゃない。
What's this weapon? The old man struggles. Okay. Okay, so it's been an hour. They're doing an hour, 5 minutes. They're doing a lot of things. That's interesting. Oh my, how elegant. He gives so much Dio energy, but like a sane Dio. I do think Koyasu is also the voice actor. Okay. Okay, UG. I guess he's just boxing. Divergent fish. Exactly. Why?
つらの死因はざっくり言うと体を改造させられたことによるショック死だ。君が殺したんじゃない。そのあたり履き違えるなよ。
Yeah, that's what he was mulling over. Murdering someone.
どっちもさ、俺にとっては同じ重さの他人の死だ。それでもこれは趣味が悪すぎだろ。この子は他人のために本気で怒れるのだな。特級仮想音量、そう呼ばれる呪霊がいる。呪霊は人間から漏出した呪力の集合体。実在しなくとも共通認識のあるイフのイメージは強力な呪いとなって権限しやすい。共通認識のあるイフのイメージ、有名な妖怪や怪談ってことですか？
This is happening at the same time as their fight because it's 11. While that fight was happening at 11:15. The unknown.
大地を、森を、海を恐れてきた。それらに向けられた呪力は大きすぎるがゆえに、形を得る前に知恵をつけ、今まで息を潜めていたんだ。みんな誇らしい俺の仲間さ。真人さんは何の呪いなんですか？人間。俺は人が人を憎み、恐れた腹から生まれた呪いだよ。
ある程度ではなく、もう分かっているんですよね、犯人の居場所。
もちろん、犯人はその気になれば残影なんて残さずに現場を立ち去れるはずです。私たちはまた誘い込まれています。単身乗り込むリスクと虎杖君を連れて行くリスク、前者を選んだまでです。彼はまだ子供ですから。なんだみ先生、
虎杖君、
言い忘れてた。気をつけてね。虎杖君、私は教職じゃないので先生はやめてください。じゃあナナミン、引っ叩きますよ。
Okay. There was so much in this episode. Okay. We need to talk about so much stuff. So, firstly, we have Yoshino Junpei, who is this kid that got bullied, and we're made to kind of really empathize with him, so that when those kids get murdered by Mahito, we're kind of on his side as to like, yeah, those kids deserved it, but they didn't deserve that. They really didn't. I mentioned this during the opening as well, but that this is the author kind of setting up this plot to kind of give us a view into Mahito's reasoning through Junpei exploring him. So we got told about. Well, let's start from the start. We meet Nanami. He is an ex-salaryman, and he's a very blunt and practical guy. You know, straight to the point. And he doesn't mince words. He doesn't use any flowery language. He just talks about stuff. And he is a very interesting character because I'm not sure where they plan to go with him. He is someone that, according to himself, lost kind of faith in the world because the world is really not as straightforward as he is. And he left Jujutsu because he thought they were all idiots. But then he entered the real world and then saw that all of those guys were idiots as well. So he chose the lesser evil. So that's really interesting. Is he's kind of this guy that's almost lost faith in humanity, but seeing someone like Yuji truly mourn the loss of those people, even if it wasn't his fault for killing them, he still mourned them, and it kind of almost restored Nanami's faith in humanity. Like, you know, the meme, like faith in humanity restored kind of vibe is what I get from him. So let's see if him and if Nanami and Yuji get closer. Although I feel like they're kind of teeing him up to go on like a suicide mission against Mahito. I'm not sure if Mahito is even gonna be there anymore. If it's gonna be Junpei. But the meat of the conversation that I want to talk about is actually Mahito and Junpei's conversation, because Mahito goes into what makes a curse, and you know it's something that the people fear, something that becomes folklore, like yokai, like ghosts, the nine tails, stuff like that gets categorized into special grade, the unknown. But that's apparently shallow, and I guess the Jujutsu sorcerers aren't thinking like big enough. Like he because what's bigger is natural disasters, earthquakes, tsunamis, volcano eruptions, typhoons, hurricanes, and I guess those are also viewed as curses. I wasn't really sure on that, so I kind of want to just take a little scroll back in the episode as well, just to see, just to reread the conversation that they were having. Okay, I'm at the point right now, so let me read this. The earth, the forests, and the oceans. The cursed energy directed at them was so massive that before they took form, they gained consciousness and remained in hiding. That's Jogo Hanami. I don't think we've seen the water thing. Okay. Okay, that makes a lot of difference now that I took a longer moment to look at it. So basically, because of the fear that people harbor from the ocean, the forest, and the earth, that fear is what gives rise to curses. This is kind of like this. This is very similar to how Chainsaw Man operates and how it personifies devils, is that the more something is feared by the people, is the most stronger it becomes, its mythos grows, and because of that growing mythos, it becomes that much more dangerous and powerful. And that's the case with the ocean, the forests, the mountains, all the land, the earth, and those become things that people begin to fear because they can bring certain doom as well. And those the fear that was directed at them was so massive that before they even took form, they gained consciousness and they hid away. So they amassed their cursed energy, kind of, and they just hid away. And I just took a look at that. So Jogo is supposed to be probably the earth. Hanami is the forest. We have not met whoever the water thing was. We have not met who that is, but that's a very interesting take, is that, and that feels really huge in scale, like natural disasters taking form. So I'm really curious if JJK is not going to go the traditional kind of arc based structure that shonen do, where you have a more lighter threat at the start. Like Ghetto, I thought was supposed to be more like a build up, like of a season one villain, but now with Mahito and Ghetto both working together, they feel really end gamey. So then the question becomes, how long, like what's the plan? Is this really an actual overarching one story arc? Because that would be quite brave for a shonen to do, compared to smaller arcs where the stakes keep getting bigger and bigger. But I don't know how you get bigger than spirits that represent the forest, the earth, the ocean. Like that seems like endgame type stuff. What's left? Like deep space? Is that what we're afraid of? And then Mahito is the product of people hating each other. So he's got to be like the strongest, because that's what most of the hate in the world, if we were to kind of put it in a bucket, I would say people hating other people is where the vast majority of hatred resides. And Mahito being a cursed being, a special grade, pretty much being born from those feelings, he's probably the most powerful curse out there. And we kind of got a look at a flashback potentially. Maybe Mahito used to be a regular person. I think we saw something like a cigarette being burned into what seemed to be a kid. So I'm maybe he was someone that was tortured. Maybe that explains the Frankensteinian marks. Like, was he like kidnapped and like limbs chopped off, like really gruesome type stuff? um and then you have Junpei, who in the first few lines he has says that, like, if there was a button to kill everyone that I hated, I would never press it. I could never press it. But if there was a button I could press to kill everyone who hated me, I would press it. That's a very interesting take on that kind of trolley problem, almost morality question. Is that I wouldn't kill anyone that I personally hate because that feels like it's directing them towards me. I would kill everyone that hates me. It flips the dynamic and the morality of it, I think, a little bit. So I don't know where this is planning to go. I'm quite intrigued. We got a very snappy episode. I really appreciate the pacing. They're going really hard in on the timings. So 10:10 a.m. is when the disaster occurred. 10:30 is when Nanami and Yuji were there. 11:15 was when Nanami and Yuji fought the cursed beings, and 11 on the dot is when Mahito and Junpei were together in that underbridge kind of looking place, sewers pretty much. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this goes. Right. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving a like, leaving a comment. Let's talk together. Let's yap together about the series. What do you like? What you don't like about it? And yeah, this has been Wally. See you next time. Bye bye.